All right. Are we off to the races? We are off to the races. Hey guys, how you doing today? You know, I wasn't gonna play any music today. I was sort of on the mood, and then the second I hit the streaming button, I'm just like, you know what? Play a song. Play a song. I have no idea what I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna play the streaming away thing. That was a fun little gimmick at first. I don't think I'm gonna play that song anymore. Just a way to kind of kill the time. See how much of this song I remember. Asked her, please put down the gun. You don't have to hurt anyone, she said. World's too hot, the people are too cold. I ain't gonna bother getting old. Work turns to bombs, my life's a lie. No one's gonna notice another girl die. Doesn't need to be this way. 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 Christ collapses in an olive grove, prays with blood to his God above. Please, there must be another way. Please don't take my life away. The humans know not what they do. Must I die before they see the truth? Doesn't need to be this way. 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 Oh. That was the first two verses of that. Yeah, one of mine. That's one of the new ones. Been steadily working on that one. There is a third verse, but I'm not happy with it. And so I think I'm going to do a rewrite and get a better third verse. Because the first two verses are very powerful, I think. Very personal story, and then the story of Christ in the olive grove. And I'm just not happy with how the third verse is going, so I'm going to do a rewrite of it. Kind of having a somber day today, a nice rainy day, right? Can't really go outside, can't really do anything, so I've been kind of tooling around. Yeah, oh yeah, it'll come. The spirit's there, but the words, they're not quite right. And I feel like because the tone of the third verse is... I'm just not happy with it. So that's what I'll boil down to. How you doing today, Nova Scotia Commie Man? Good to see you. Today is very much a strike day. Lots of news coming out about strikes and various actions going on around America. Seems as though the corporate media is actually starting to report on it, as if it is actually a strike, that the whole labor shortage narrative is starting to give way, because the capitalists are fairly aware that if they continue, or the media especially, if they continue to report on it that way, it'll just make them lose more credibility, right? Not that they have credibility in the first place, but there are some people who still actually listen to the media for some reason. So I think we've got to acknowledge when they actually start to shift the narrative and start to actually report on what is actually happening as opposed to what they want to have us believe is happening. Have a toke, try again. I don't actually like playing music while high. I gotta tell you, like anytime I smoke weed, it doesn't open me up. It's more of a dulling experience than it like. And don't get me wrong, like smoke marijuana, that's fine. I have no overarching judgment at all. And I smoke marijuana, but it just doesn't. For some people, it like cools them down, opens them up, and relaxes them. It doesn't open things up for me. Funnily enough, I write good music when I'm drunk. That's when I write interesting music, because alcohol. Like, how can I describe this? Inside of everybody, like, there's the left brain and the right brain, right? Like there's one side of the brain is for your immediate surroundings. One side of your brain is for your like immediate surroundings, and the other side of your brain is for more meta concerns, right? And I come to talk about this like you have the meta and the monkey, right? One side of your brain is a monkey that is literally just like, what is in my immediate vicinity? What do I have to deal with on the immediate? And then the other one is more existential and like larger societal concerns, and like it has a view of you within the larger structure that you are in. And this is why there's such a huge spike in anxiety and depression amongst people, is because the meta knows something is going wrong, is very aware that something is going wrong, but it doesn't necessarily know what, or it doesn't necessarily know how to communicate it to the monkey, right? That the meta and the monkey aren't very good at talking to one another, ultimately. And we don't train for it, we don't pay attention to it, we don't actually talk about it as if it's like, you have two voices in your head. You've got one is the monkey and the other is the meta. And if you don't listen to the meta will begin to assert itself in many different ways, and it asserts itself through anxiety and depression. Or the monkey can't hear it. The monkey's got too much shit going on, right? The monkey's got stuff to do, right? And but when you drink, right? Like when you drink alcohol, it makes the meta stupider. That's really what it does. Like it doesn't really it puts the monkey more in control, and it doesn't. The monkey is always stupid, so it doesn't really affect the monkey too much, but it does make the meta stupider. And what I find that does, because I purposefully think about the meta a lot. I spend a lot of my time in the meta, and less time with the monkey than I feel like I should, really. But what it kind of does is it evens the playing field. Right? It lets those two voices have conversations that I think are a bit more equalized, and you can come to terms with things a little bit easier, I think, because like the meta does have this kind of like haughty, like overarching, like, oh, you stupid monkey kind of thing. Like it's like Squidward and SpongeBob, right? Right? That like Squidward does have this kind of like sighing, like, oh, I cannot believe you're not getting this, and oh my god, like, come on, like, it's so clear and all of this, and then, there does come a point where the monkey just says to the meta, like, shut the fuck up, you're not living this, like, you're not here, you're not dealing with what's right in front of us, you're off in La La Land over here, right? Shut the fuck up, right? I find myself saying that quite often when it's, when I get caught in that, like, oh, I'm not doing enough, and I'm not, you could do better, and sometimes I just say, like, no, I am doing as well as I can, okay? Like, you come down here. You move this body around. You live here. And as for shrooms, I think shrooms are useful for people to do, especially low-dose shrooms. Like, low-dose shrooms are good. There's this sort of desire to do, like, high-dose shroom things. I recommend high-dose shrooms maybe once a year. I could sort of justify that, I think. I don't know that I've never been drawn to be creative when I've done mushrooms. Like, I feel like when I do mushrooms, I want to be, like, in the world and like, I just want to spend my trip, like, lying in the grass and, like, experiencing life, right? Well, here's a new one. Diaphyllus arcantus. That's a cool fucking name. Hey, Amanda, how you doing? Good to see you. Diaphyllus arcantus. I feel like I'm going to, like, manifest you if I say it one more time, so I won't. Good to see you. Oh, hey, Barnabas. Okay, you just changed your name. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Cool name, dude. Cool name. As you guys know, it's Friday, right? So, and as the poet and scholar Rebecca Black reminds us, you got to get down on Friday, right? Yeah, a long time. I haven't seen you in here in a long time, but I hope you're doing really good. I hope things are going well for you. Let's get through the thing that we always do, right? Let's pick the number. For the last, like, 3 days, no one's gotten the number, so we're due. I'm gonna pick a 5. I'm going straight down the pipe.
Here we go for today's number.
I have not won this thing
It's October 15.
I'm yet to win.
2021.
So let's see.
10 balls.
Mr. David Lynch.
Each ball has a number. Numbers 1 through 10. Swirl the numbers.
Swirl the numbers. We got another 7. Hey, Mock, how you doing, bud? Good to see you.
Pick a number.
2 7s, eh? Dangerous. We got a 6 from Nova Scotia, so we got a 5, 6, 7.
Today's number is...
He's laughing about it. Hey,
6.
Nova Scotia with the 6. I wonder why he was laughing about it. I bet you he's drawn a couple of 6s in a row. I bet that's what he's laughing about. Let's go down, take a quick look. Because someone's actually David's starting to notice the crazy amounts of 6s we've been having. Yeah? Look at this. 6, 5. There was a 5, then a 6, then a 5, then a 6, 6, then an 8, then a 6. Okay, wow. And, like, here's a bunch of 6s back here, too. The devil's number. The 6. So, Nova Scotia Commie, you win today. Go buy a lottery ticket. Go double down on that thing that you were thinking of double downing on, right? Today is your day, Nova Scotia. Today is your day, bestowed upon you by the beautiful and miraculous David Lynch. As you can see, guys, I've got like 1,000 tabs open, and it's just such a scattered experience today, such a scattered day. So I'm going to blaze through some of this stuff, right? Like, people are putting up, here's a bunch of this boomer stuff. So this fellow here, age 69, writes an article for The New Yorker called "It's Time to Stop Talking About Generations," which of course has drawn a lot of derision from the millennials and Gen X and all these guys being like, oh yeah, now that things are starting to turn and you're starting to see that, like, the boomers are in shit town, now it's time to stop talking about generations. Oh, okay. And my thing about the boomer thing that I think I don't know that it's healthy to have, like, the okay boomer kind of position or to deride the boomers so much. But at the same time, we do have to acknowledge certain things have happened, right? That, like, the boomer generation shut the door for a lot of people. Like, the boomer generation had an enormous amount of social services, had an enormous amount of supports given to them, and then stripped all those supports away, right? Like, that's undeniable at this point. That generation of people looked at all of the benefits their parents gave to them and said, we will not do that for our own children. And we have to investigate why that's the case. Like, it's not good enough in my perspective to simply say, like, oh, these guys are nuts, or like, oh, they're selfish or greedy or any of that kind of stuff. That's not good enough. That I actually think a stronger investigation in the realities of propaganda. The boomers were really the first generation to get bombarded with television propaganda, to get bombarded with film propaganda, right? Like, they really were the first generation to experience the scale of mass media CIA propaganda. And we're seeing the results of that. That if you lie to your citizenry like this, you can convince them to even betray their own children. The Senate Productions. How's that for a name? I don't think I've ever seen you around here, bud. Good to see you. I think you were shadow banned because when I searched capitalism as a death cult, I found nothing. Yep. I know. Like, I know. I am experiencing growth in spite of it, in spite of the shadow ban, because I send my own stuff around and all that kind of stuff. But, like, I know the day. It happened in June. Like, I know the month that it happened because that's when the growth slowed right down, right? That I was shadow banned because, because they don't want anti-capitalist. I bet you that YouTube is already feeling the heat. You've got people like Hakeem has 100,000 subscribers now. You've got a big swell of anti-capitalist people coming up, and they know they can't control it. They know that they're not going to be able to control it as it grows and as it comes. And it's growing in spite of their shadow bans, and it's growing in spite of all of that. And they know that eventually they're going to have to take the shift and actually get on side with this kind of socialist sort of thing. But like, YouTube is a capitalist enterprise, right? Like, it doesn't want to support capitalist or anti-capitalist channels. Why would it want that, right? So, and especially one like mine, right? Like, I'm the next level, okay? Like, I'm the next level, and I know that I'm the next level. That right now the guys that are on YouTube going around are just happy being critics, right? They're happy just making like critique videos and talking about the history of labor movements and socialism and like pointing out things and all that kind of stuff. They're happy with that. That's fine as far as they're concerned. I'm the next level. I'm literally saying that the capitalist system has failed, that it needs to be torn down, that it needs to be completely eliminated, that the people who are in charge of it need to have their power stripped totally, 100%, including criminal charges, and also to the level that we need to be formulating street protests about it, right? Like, we need to be galvanizing people and getting them into the streets, and that's one of the things I'm doing with this channel. So I'm ahead of these other guys, right? I'm the next level. I'm the logical conclusion. And so, of course, they're going to shadow ban me. And one day they'll just bite the bullet and just ban me. Like, that is coming. Like, I have no illusions about it. I don't pretend. And it's, so I do the work that I can do, and I'm trying to build what I can build, and I'm trying to get going what I can get going. But, I mean, I do have to start thinking about, like, where do I move after I get banned from YouTube, because it's for sure coming. Like, it's for sure coming. Like, and I mean, a good way to stay connected to me and to this community is if you donate even $1 to the Patreon. I get you into my Discord, and the Discord is where we are building the community and building the movement, hopefully to move from there. DDR kind of reminds me of my parents. They try to do everything they can to make me happy, but when I annoy them... do you think it has something to do with most of their parents living through the Depression, not having much and seeing what it does, so now they hoard their wealth? That's a good question, actually. Like it's sort of that fear of like, okay, I've got what I've got now, and if I let it go, then I'm gonna fall into the state that my parents fell into, and but at the same time, like their parents created enormous social programs and social benefits to ensure that their children wouldn't have to go through that same kind of a thing, and then the boomers set to dismantling it. Right? Like, that's kind of the shocking part about what happened to the boomers, is that They took all of the benefits that were won by their parents, and then dismantled them, and with absolutely no benefit whatsoever to anyone, including themselves. Right? Like it's very, very shocking what happened to the boomers, and what the boomers have done. So like I think it's worthy of investigation. It's and worthy of compassionate investigation, right? Like it's not enough to go in and be like the boomers are shit and here's why they're shit and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like we have to acknowledge what the reality is. We have to acknowledge what the truth is. Like the truth is that the boomer generation have done everything they can to make life harder for their own children. Like there's no arguing that. Like that's fundamentally the truth. And so the question becomes, how did that happen? Yeah. Their parents fought and bled against the ideology that they now support. Exactly. Yeah. How did that happen? Like that's an enormous question that we need to be investigating. We need to be discovering more about. Is imperialism good when communist countries do it? I mean, who? Who has embarked in the path of imperialism, like the way that the British Empire did, or the way that the American Empire currently is? Like which communist nation? Like, I mean, people like to peg the Soviets, right? But I mean, anytime I look at what the Soviets were up to, it's a little bit more complex, right? Like until you get to the collapse of the Soviet Union, where they're literally invading Afghanistan and stuff like this, like. Everyone tries to point out like the invasion of Poland, but it's like, yeah, the Germans went in and like destroyed Poland, took half of it for themselves, and like the Germans and the Russians are like, well, what are we gonna do? We're gonna let the Germans just have the rest of Poland. So it's I always ask people like which communist countries are doing imperialism. I just don't like, for example, China invades India and they're not doing that. So, I don't like to comment on this like this hypothetical shit. Like it doesn't, like, obviously it would be a bad thing if China did that. They're not, so it's not really worth our time to talk about. Yeah, imperialism isn't when a big country does something to a small country. Yeah, I really liked the Evo Morales' definition of what makes imperialism, which is the building of outposts and military bases in countries that are not yours, right? Weren't the Soviets invited into Afghanistan? There is a certain amount of evidence to show that is the case, but I mean, I'm not ready to plant my feet. I'll put it that way. I'm not ready to plant my feet. I could be swayed, but I'm not ready to plant my feet on it. All right. Yep. All of Toronto City Council is alleged to have accepted donations from developers. Big fucking surprise. Like big developers. Like, why do you think they're all banging on about build more stuff? Right? Build more stuff. Funnel billions of dollars into the developers. Right? Like, what do you think? So Toronto City Council is taking bribes. Big fucking surprise. Taking big bribes from developers. Like, again, the entire system is completely corrupted. Like, there's no... so it shouldn't come as a huge surprise that a new report is alleging a significant share of campaign contributions donated to candidates in the lead up to the 2018 municipal election came from people with personal or professional ties to the development industry. Right? Like, we know. Like, we know. Acorn report shows 34% of city council donors have development ties. Like, and what this is going to mean is that Toronto City Council is going to approve worthless projects. Like, that's what it is. That worthless projects that are of no value whatsoever will get approval, and money and resources will be funneled into these worthless development projects, while things that are actually necessary and things that actually need to be happening will just be ignored. Like, that's what it is to be in a capitalist system now, and we're seeing outright that, like, who is bribing who, right? Who is greasing the wheels, right? And I mean, these sorts of things should be a crime. Like, it should just be illegal. Like, no, you can't take bribes from like, you can't just take bribes. It's ridiculous. Of the 4 million total funds raised by the mayor and councillors during their campaign, Acorn alleges a staggering 1.3 million came from the very deep pockets of people with links to the industry. Like, and I've worked with Acorn before. I know all about Acorn, so it's I trust them when they come out with something. Oh, sorry guys, my pug. Here, I'm gonna put this on. Here's a great one from Kyle Kalinske.
So there's a lot of union activity going on right now. You want to know why? Because the economy is a giant scam. Workers are getting hosed. We just had a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic. And this was used as a Trojan horse to cut benefits for people and cut back on hours, cut back on pay. There's issues with the supply chain. There's all sorts of problems. But workers are fighting back because they are getting screwed. So take a look at this. This is from Jonah Furman, who's actually a labor reporter, one of the few in the country, so credit to him for tracking this here. This week's union roundup is a big one. Lots of strike activity all over the country. On strike, 2,000 Buffalo hospital workers, 2,000 Washington carpenters, 1,000 Alabama miners, 700 Massachusetts nurses, 450 West Virginia steelworkers, 420 Kentucky whiskey workers, 350 Denver janitors, 300 Los Angeles aerospace manufacturers, 200 Reno bus drivers, 100 Pennsylvania teachers, 75 San Antonio symphony, I'm an idiot, musicians, 50 West Virginia machinists, and then we have potential strikes, 65,000 film and TV workers, that's wild, 37,000 Kaiser healthcare workers, 10,000 John Deere manufacturing workers, thousands of grad students at Harvard, Columbia, and Illinois State University, and 20,000 California State University faculty members, 2,000 telecom workers in California, 400 hospital workers in Oregon, 350 hospital workers in California, school bus drivers in Warwick, Rhode Island, Las Cruces, New Mexico, and Elk Grove, California. God diggity damn, son. God damn. Here's why we're talking about this. Because nobody else is gonna. So credit to this labor reporter. There are very few outlets in the country doing a real good job reporting on serious issues. So you got to give a shout out to the Daily Poster. You got to give a shout out to Jordan Chariton and Status Coup, Sludge. There's a number that are doing a great job, but it's few and far between, and they don't get the accolades that they deserve. So credit to this labor reporter for doing it. Let me show you these charts, because this says everything right here. Share of union income going to the top, share of income, not union income, share of income going to the top 10%. And then the red line is union membership. So blue line is income to the top 10%, red line is union membership. Look at that. So in other words, the more unionization there is, the less money the top 10% have, which means the more money the working class has. And then of course there's that giant break apart. Now look at this chart. Worker productivity, compensation, and union membership. So you have productivity goes up. Union membership is relatively high early on, around 1960. As soon as union membership plummets, hourly compensation decouples from the productivity line, and people start getting paid way less. So they're super productive, but they don't get paid in alignment with their productivity. Now, some of that has to do with, technology. That's a part of it. But a lot of it has to do directly with union membership. When union rates decline, the working class doesn't do as well. I mean, it's very straightforward. All the data shows this. In the right-to-work states, workers make less and they have worse benefits. When you're in a union, you get paid more, you have better benefits, and you're treated better. I mean, these are just...
So, Kyle Kalinske doing some good reporting on the strikes that are ongoing here in Striketober, yeah. And Green Goblin, don't know if I've seen you around here. Lots of people either changing their names or coming in. Good to see you guys. Good to see. I'm so glad you guys are all here. I'm gonna warn you right now, right? It's Friday, so Friday's a fuck around day for sure, because I don't get days off anymore, and so I take Friday to be like the kind of fuck around day. So I've got lots of tabs and lots of things that we're going to go for. Corporate greed and inequality is not a bug of capitalism. It is a feature. Yeah, here is finally a mainstream story that is coming out and actually talking about this stuff as it is.
A wave of labor stoppages across the country. There is a new militant spirit in the American workforce. Workers want more, and they're willing to strike to get it. This morning, 10,000 workers at John Deere hit the picket lines in
like
Iowa,
10,000's a lot.
Illinois, and Kansas. They argued that even as the agricultural equipment company's profits grew by 61% in recent years, and their CEO's salary grew by 160% during the pandemic, their pay has actually been cut.
We need to let them know that they can't continue to take our money and take our money and take our money.
Across the country, labor is on the march. In California and Oregon, 24,000 nurses and other healthcare workers at Kaiser Permanente voted to authorize a strike over pay and better working conditions. Meanwhile, union workers at Kellogg's cereal plants have been on strike for more than a week, angry about long hours, including 7-day work weeks.
Our number one priority is to get back to the negotiations table and reach a contract so our employees can get back to their jobs and their lives.
And soon, Hollywood may see a walkout. 60,000 film and TV crew members could walk off the job Monday over what they claim are unfair working conditions.
Our hours are really grueling, and we need not just rest between the workdays and over the weekend, but an actual meal break during the day.
And across the country, a record number of workers are quitting their jobs. 4.3 million Americans, or 2.9% of the workforce, left their jobs in August. Many are looking for better work conditions and pay, especially with inflation on the rise. Several forces are driving all of this. As the pandemic comes to an end, companies are seeing sky-high demand and very tight labor markets. They're having trouble filling jobs. Workers notice that top executives and bosses are getting paid, and so for the first time in a long, long time, workers have the upper hand. Robin?
They've had enough. All right.
So there's like probably the only news media thing that I've seen where they're actually talking about it the way that it should be talked about, which is that workers are fed up. They're starting to leave, right? That we have an unofficial general strike on our hands, and how much longer until these like groups that are going on strike over here actually start to ally, and there is actually like a straight up general strike, which is what we need to be doing. I know you've got questions, Mystic, right? My thoughts on Joe Rogan and the Gupta podcast. I don't know anything about Gupta. I stopped paying attention to Joe Rogan a while ago because when he got that $100 million Spotify deal, it became pretty clear that he started to disconnect from the reality of what it is to be a working person and what it is to be like a regular average Joe. That was always his strength. His strength is that he was just sort of like the average dude who just wanted to know stuff about stuff he didn't know anything about and talk to interesting, controversial people. But now he's not an average person. Now he's a multimillionaire, right, with one of the largest podcasts out there. And the truth is that he's disconnecting from the experience of everybody else. Not to mention the transphobia. Like the transphobia thing was very difficult for me to get through, and like I don't believe him when he says that he's just investigating and asking questions, because if that was the truth, he would have trans people on his show, and he doesn't, right? Who wouldn't accept $100 million? Yeah, I know. It's very tempting, right? It's very tempting. That's one of the reasons why someone like Dave Chappelle gets a lot of credibility, is because there was a $50 million deal on the table and he walked away from it, right? Like, that gives him a lot of credibility in a lot of people's eyes, and makes him a more interesting figure ultimately. But like Joe Rogan, I just think Joe Rogan is losing touch with he's steadily, and I mean his whole like ivermectin shit, like the his COVID denialism, like all this kind of stuff, like he's just steadily heading into Q territory, right? More and more and more. He's just more and more ending up in kind of loony la la land, right? And doesn't really want to listen to experts, doesn't really want to listen to people who come on his show. I don't think he is transphobic, he just disagrees with transgender in sports, so why doesn't he have trans people on his show? Like, he platforms transphobes on his show. Like, he 100%, like, some of the people he has on his show are transphobic, like, period. Like, and I don't think that's debatable. And why doesn't he, like, if I had an issue with a group or with a type of person or any of this kind of stuff, I would go and talk to those people. that's the thing to do, right? Like, that's the thing to do. You talk to the expert, and the expert when it comes to trans rights issues and trans issues are the trans people, right? I hope you're doing good too, Mystic. I got to tell you, I'm tired today. I'm tired today. It's a rainy, cloudy day, so no sunlight for me. Yeah, men and women already compete against each other in competitive sports. Yeah, I actually think that this competitive sports angle is a bit wonky. Like, I think, why not have, like, why don't we let women into, let's say, the NBA, right? Like, are you telling me that the best woman in the WNBA is not as good or better than the worst man in the NBA? I'd love to. Why is there a segregation of the sexes at all? Right? What is the argument? And the argument always has been like, oh, well, you can't compete with us. And it's like, well, is that true? Like, is that actually true? Like, I think that there are women in the WNBA who could make it through the NBA for sure. Like, for sure there is. Why wouldn't they? Right? Like, there have been, and I think it would make for an excellent story, and it would be an excellent thing to do. But of course, if they were to do it, the public outcry from the bigots would be enormous. Which, I mean, I hate to break it to you, like, there's an enormous amount of bigotry in the society. Women and men aren't the same when it comes to athleticism and strength. So what? Like, what does that matter even a little bit, right? That if a woman and a man agree to compete in a sport together, right? Like, prove it. This talking point is like, it's a fun little theory crafting talking point, but like, let's see it then. Like, if a man and a woman want to compete and they want to actually, like, and the argument always is like, well, men are bigger and stronger. Well, yeah, have weight classes and shit if it comes down to that. But, like, again, like, I use the NBA because the NBA is like a non-contact, right? Like, strictly, like, mainly cardio and accuracy sort of sport. And, like, I firmly believe that women could be in the NBA and there wouldn't be an issue. That it would be the same game, right? I just did a big long thing about Dave Chappelle. It's actually the clip for the day, bud. So I'll just direct you to that. I'll just direct you to the clip of the day instead of spending a half hour talking about it again. I do want to augment that and actually say one other thing. I think that Dave Chappelle is mainly concerned about relationships between black people and white people, and his connection to the trans conversation is attempting to highlight that disparity, right? So, again, I'm going to direct you to that clip because I did a big long talk about that yesterday and really talked about my thoughts on it. So I won't belabor the point again. Oh yeah, this is brutal. This is brutal. Ugh. Justin Trudeau tells international conference left-wing extremist groups are pushing white supremacy. What's the exact quote? We see the organizations of extremist groups on the far right and the far left that are pushing white supremacy, ignorance, radicalization, promoting hatred, fear, and mistrust across borders, but within borders as well. This is, in my view, a concerted attempt by the powerful in order to pretend like communists and fascists are the same thing. That's really what the goal here is because if you can convince the populace that fascists and communists are the same thing, then it leaves people with nowhere else to go but the liberals, right? So this is like an enormous and dangerous lie that is coming out of the Prime Minister's office. In my view, this statement alone discredits him as a leader, like, period. Communists and fascists are not the same thing. And more we're seeing, like, Chrystia Freeland, who is his deputy prime minister, has ties to Nazi organizations in the Ukraine and even in her own family. Her grandfather was a Nazi collaborator. And we're seeing Justin Trudeau support stuff like the Victims of Communism, right? The Victims of Communism Memorial, which literally says that the Nazis that were killed by the communists during World War II were victims of communism, like a laughable joke of a thing to do, which discredits the organization completely in my view. They do things like if someone dies of a natural disaster under communism, they're a victim of communism because communists can create earthquakes and shit like this. Like it's unreal. Like it's unreal the lengths that they're going to say who is a victim of communism. And of course, it's like an absurdism in an absurdism. Like, why aren't you making like a victim of capitalism thing? Like, capitalists have literally nuked cities. Like, what are you fucking talking about, right? Like, show me the communist that's nuked a city, right? Yeah, that left many scratching their heads. Yeah, no lie. Like, so this is brutal. Like, this is brutal. Like, do not support this. Like, do not support these people. Like, because they're telling, like, I genuinely don't care if you think that communism can be critiqued and all that kind of stuff, but to conflate like a group like Black Lives Matter with the Proud Boys, which is what he's done, right? Is dishonesty on a scale that I'm yet to see from the liberals, right? Like this, that's some dangerous shit there. Because what's next? What's next? Right? Like, what's next? Is Black Lives Matter suddenly going to be declared a terrorist organization? Is Black Lives Matter suddenly going to become a part of the CSIS profiling, right? Like, are they going to start going after Black Lives Matter people, right? And this idea that like left organizations are spreading white supremacy is a total fucking joke. Like, it's a total fucking joke. So once again, the liberals showing that they have no credibility, right? And it's going to get really obvious. Like, the liberals are not going to do anything like this. I just read an article today in my local neighborhood paper, Beach Metro, where the liberal candidate who got reelected, Nathan Esker, I think his name is, he's talking about all the work that the liberals will need to do and like all they've done and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, you guys are not going to do fucking anything. Like, these guys are not doing fucking anything. Like, their role in this is to be as obstructionist as possible while attempting to convince the populace that they are doing something. So like, yeah, we're combating climate change by putting in a carbon tax that was actually the fossil fuels industry's idea, which disperses costs into the populace instead of having the fossil fuel industry actually pay for it. Yeah, we also banned straws. Climate change over, you guys. We banned straws, right? So they're doing like little tiny pebbles, throwing it at the issue and pretending like that's work. Like, pretending like that's actually hard work or that's actually important work to do, right? Do you think this is them freaking out from intel that military scooping up of BLM info when they were deployed to assist nursing homes? I don't think I understand the comment. Sorry, Duke. Do you think this is them freaking out from intel from that military scooping up of BLM info when they were deployed to assist nursing homes? I mean, it's probably connected, but I don't see the connection, really. But they both have red flags. Oh, checkmate, Macht. Checkmate, you're right. They both have red flags. It's true. It's true. The majority of their work is manufacturing consent. Exactly. Like, that is the majority of their work, is to pretend as though that they're your ally. Isn't Trudeau pretty left-wing? No. The Trudeau administration has turned into a fairly, like, it's revealed itself to be a right-wing party. That like, they're pro, I mean, for God's sakes, like, they're pro-militant, they're pro-Zionist, they're pro, they sell weapons to people who are committing genocides, right? Like, Chrystia Freeland has literally trained neo-Nazi groups. The only reason they put in any kind of support system at all over the pandemic is because the alternative literally was the full-scale abandonment of the populace. And you can look at the United States and see what that's done. But now they're doing everything they can to dismantle that, right? because they want to sell us back to the capitalist death cult. That's really what it was. And the NDP, in my view, are actually just what the Liberal Party should be, right? Like the NDP are essentially just a liberal party. Yeah, they think they can vote out capitalism. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There was the news a little bit back. The Canadian military had gathered all that info on BLM protesters in the summer. Yeah, I mean, that's what military organizations do, right? Like that's what they do. The question. No, Trudeau isn't left. He's not left. He's not left wing at all. Like 0% left wing. Like get that out. Take that out of your head and throw it away. Like it's a right wing party. Like they are not left. 0% left. The only reason they are considered left is because we have another party that is like full scale far right fascism. Like they're just like Looney Tunes over there. That and then we have another party called the PPC, which their big complaint is that the conservatives aren't far right enough. So liberals are the gatekeepers for the right to dissipate the energy of the working people's outrage at the exploitation and injustice. Yep, exactly. Exactly. And if the liberals don't actually do that, that's when they lose power. Yeah. Liberals welcome the left in order to neutralize them. Yeah. Which is why the NDP is so dangerous to them, because now that's turning into the NDP's job, right? So the liberals are beginning to kind of get a bit skittish and wonder, like, are people starting to see that we're actually worthless? Are people actually starting to realize that we're not actually doing anything? Are people actually starting to realize that we have no intention of doing anything, right? Like the liberals are here to make sure that the descent into feudalism and the descent into climate change chaos goes as smoothly as possible. That's their job, right? They have, I mean, I'd be surprised if that sticks, Mystic. That's the thing, right? Like you recently came in here saying you were conservative, and now you're saying you're a libertarian. Like as you learn that, I'll be surprised if that sticks, frankly. Libertarianism is an incoherent system. It doesn't make sense. Like it straight up, it doesn't make sense. Like literally, libertarians are saying that the path to freedom is to sell ourselves to corporate billionaires. That is what libertarianism in America is saying. It's incoherent. It doesn't make sense. Oh, I know, little guy. I know. I'm not 100% paying attention to you 100% of the time. I know. My little dog down here giving me sniffs and looking at me being like, why aren't you petting me? Why aren't you petting me? Yeah. Everybody goes through it. Like that's I don't get mad at people, right? I don't get mad at people when they're in one position or another, really, because like especially when they're outside of conservative and liberal, like I feel like if you're saying you're a conservative or you're saying you're a liberal, I'm like, fuck, you're donezo. Like what the fuck? Like you literally think defending the system of capital is good? Yikes. That's where I'm at. But like anything else, I'm like, I get it. Like I get you're exploring and you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to find out your way and trying to find out your path and you're getting rid of this idea and you're trying to find a reformist way of looking at it, and anarchism or libertarianism is but you're selling yourself to politicians in a communist society? No, you're not. Like first of all, like really think about what you just said, right? You vote for politicians, right? So the difference between selling yourself to a politician and selling yourself to a corporation is that you have no say in what happens in a corporation, and you never will. Like there's no way to affect change within the corporate structure. It's impossible, right? Whereas you elect politicians. So if the choice is subserviate yourself to people who you will never alter their viewpoint, it is a totalitarian dictatorship. That's what a business is. It's a top-down ruled totalitarian dictatorship, amongst the worst type of dictatorship. Oh my God. And you buy capitalist products. Okay, bud. Okay. Like, When slavery existed, people bought slavery products because they didn't have an alternative, right? Because there is no alternative, right? The argument that says, oh, well, you participate in capitalism, therefore checkmate, right? Like, oh, I'm very smart, right? That's a real Ben Shapiro thing, dude. Like that hits me right in my Shapiro. Like you can't not. Like how does, yes, yet you participate in capitalism, curious, right? And it's like it is not hypocritical. It is not hypocritical to participate in a system that you're forced to participate in while simultaneously critiquing that system. Like it's frustrating that happens. And forgive me if I'm coming across as very frustrated, because I have to admit I'm feeling very frustrated. I'm feeling very tired. I'm feeling quite grumpy in the first place. And ultimately, like, to go back to your other comment though, politicians in a communist society, like, in a communist society, the people who are in charge are the workers, right? The workers own the means of production. The workers likely still have like a council and elect people, and there's like a political system that exists, certainly. But like, the politicians are not beholden to a corporate capitalist class. They're beholden to the workers, right? Like that's the difference. And if I had to choose between electing somebody, yeah, or having this like totalitarian dictatorship thing and vote with your dollars, like I can't stand that argument. Vote with your dollars, yeah, because like we have the same amount of money as billionaires do, right? Like the billionaire class literally has like the lion's share of the economy. Like that's what's at issue. And this idea that, oh, just vote for your dollars, like that's not real. Like that's not real. Yeah. I like you too, Mystic. You seem like a straight up fellow. And I know that you're just investigating and you're trying to figure things out. That's why I don't mind you coming in with this like libertarian stuff, because it's not going to last much longer, bud. Like people who go through the libertarian thing, they get rid of that pretty fast, because like once you understand that it's an incoherent system, that it doesn't actually work, and you can see it. Like you can see that it doesn't work. It's very straightforward why it doesn't work. That if everything was just straight up like subserviate ourselves to corporate power, well, they'll create monopolies, jack the prices, lower wages, right? And you'll just end up being slaves in a corporate totalitarian dictatorship. Like that's what the libertarians are genuinely arguing for, and it's incoherent. It doesn't have the result that you think it's going to have, right? It's not going to suddenly make everybody free, right? And this idea, like, just do more free market capitalism harder, yeah, that's not going to work, bud. Like, and it doesn't work for very obvious reasons. There are lots of ways to organize a communist society. The Soviet Union was not even a very good example. I think that's true, yeah. It was the literal first time ever attempted in the midst of a famine, global war, civil war, yeah, and like, it really was the like personal force of figures like Lenin and Stalin and Trotsky that really kept it going. And the critique that you can lay at Stalin's feet, and I think you should lay it at Stalin's feet, is that he wasn't able to create a system that continued to perpetuate the ideals of socialism and communism through, right? That the people who took over from Stalin were really just sort of personal glory and wealth kind of schlubs, right? They didn't really care to build a more effective society. My mother was non-aligned but described herself as a socialist, feminist, egalitarian, etc. The media I grew up with was pretty diverse, and I'm very grateful for my upbringing. Yeah, that's always lovely. That's always lovely. Your upbringing matters a lot. That is correct. You really can't create real change in a corporate system because they created the systems that are meant to benefit them at the expense of the poor. Yeah. Good to see you, Juan. Good to see you. I was raised military, Christian, evangelical, but I'm contrary and rebellious. Yeah. I was also raised Christian evangelical, like an evangelical fundamentalist, and I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Like, fundamentalism, if you find like a chink in the armor, right? If you find the flaw in the armor of a fundamentalist, like, and for me that was the gay issue. That the gay issue really was the moment where it's like I couldn't stand on it any longer. It just wasn't able. And once I started to see that was the case, I started to ask a lot of different questions about like, well, what are you guys saying? And does this actually stand up to scrutiny? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Fundamentalist Christianity does not stand up to scrutiny. Hey Ruth, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, I don't like Ben Shapiro, just to be clear. Oh good, that's good, Mystic. I'm glad. You have LED lights, turn them purple. For some reason, after a hard day, you relax and calm down in that color light. It helped me a lot. Oh, the color purple. Okay. This is an interesting point that I'm seeing more and more get brought up on social media. I don't think folks realize that 600,000 people plus have died. Everything isn't about folks don't want to work. Over 600,000 people have died. They worked somewhere, right? And who's the most likely to actually die in the midst of the pandemic? It's the working poor, right? So you literally have killed off an enormous section of your workforce while simultaneously driving your workforce away and laying people off. And now you're trying to turn around and be like, okay, everybody, get back to work. Yeah, right. Like, get fucked. Like, get fucked in big ways. Like, get fucked in big ways. Like, people are exhausted with this shit. They're exhausted with this shit. They're not interested. They don't want to be part of it anymore. Ugh. How it started, how it's going. Right? Boston Dynamics Robot Dog is being used for a provocative paintball game, and Boston Dynamics are not happy about it. Like, what did they think was going to happen with this? Right? They're putting guns on robot dogs now. Of course they are. Like, of course they are. And yellow LED light improves mood. It's weird, but it works. Well, that ties in, actually, Mystic, what you're talking about ties in pretty closely to my chakra system that I talk about on the channel occasionally. And it's Friday, so I'm going to talk about it all I want, right? That yellow, right, if you look, yellow is actually the color of, and the colors matter, right? That we as humans are influenced by color, right? And color theory. And yellow is the color of the power chakra, right? So if you're feeling like you have a lack of confidence, right? Yellow light will actually improve your mood, and it's part of the. It's just part of the human brain and the human experience. Like, we perceive frequencies, we perceive all kinds of stuff. Like, I do wonder from time to time, like, how much all this wireless stuff is fucking with us, right? Like, we're just sending signals into the air around us, and it's really messing with us. And you can tell when you leave the city, and you go out into the countryside and you go camping or something, right? Your brain just goes and starts to like really kind of slow down, and like everything kind of planes out a little bit. And I think it's partially because we have all of these signals that are flying around us all the time that we don't necessarily perceive on like a conscious level, but that our body does pick up on. Oh, and I mean, Mystic, I don't follow the chakra system as a religious system, right? I pay attention to it because I think it's interesting. It brings interesting things into the conversation. Like, how often do you actually think about your body? Like, how often do you actually think about your body and how it is in the world? And when you do think about your body, are you thinking about it in terms of like, how do I feel, or what emotion am I feeling right now? Or do you think about it just like, I need to be tough and big and work out, right? I need bigger muscles, right? So what the chakra system does is it gives you a system to actually pay attention to not only your body, but specific sections of your body without bringing into it the vanity that comes with the way Westerners think about their body. And it doesn't matter if you actually believe that there are spheres of energy in your body. Like, that's not relevant. All it is just a way to think about your body that you don't think about at all, right? And as you go through it, like I've got this great poster here, and it's actually got like which sphere actually represents what thing and all this. And as you go through it, it like, how often do you think about guilt? How often do you think about shame? How often do you think about these things? And the chakra system sort of, as you go through it, demands that you do that. And it augments something simply because you're thinking about those things, regardless as to whether or not you believe that there is spheres of energy inside of you or any of that kind of stuff. As a secular system, as a secular study of your own self, it's very useful. I find it to be very useful. And maybe that's why I've been feeling so kind of down this week, is because I've kind of put it over onto the side. I haven't been paying attention to it the way I should be. Maybe that's really what's killing me. There is evil in the world, controversial, but I think we need military robot gun dogs. Change your mind? I mean, one would argue that the people who have the military gun dogs would be the evil ones, right? That America is such a scared nation, and that is mistrustful of their neighbors and doesn't know anything about the world. And I mean, the Americans are the aggressors on the world stage, right? Like, and they constantly use this argument that, oh, there's evil in the world, without fully recognizing that they are the evil that's coming into the world. That, like, the rest of the world views America as the problem, right? Like, and that's just straight polling. Like, who is the threat to world peace on the world stage? It is America, for sure. That if America actually genuinely cared about peace in the world, the first thing that they would do would be de-escalate. That would be the first thing that they would do. And the de-escalation of the United States military would be useful for a lot of reasons. It would be useful in terms of the climate change issue. The United States military is one of the largest polluters on the planet, right? Like, moving that shit around costs, like, it's a lot of carbon. And if they just did less of it, right? And people like Vladimir Putin is asking this. Like, people like Vladimir Putin is walking around pretty regularly now saying, like, why are we not talking about disarmament? Like, why are we not talking about disarming our nuclear stockpiles? Like, why are we not talking about de-escalation? Like, why are we constantly in this state of, like, heightened war readiness, right? Like, that the rest of the world really does want to begin disarming nuclear bombs, right? And someone like Reagan actually did. Like, that's the thing that's so funny about what's happening in America, is that they venerate this guy Reagan, you know, because he made rich people richer, but he also went to great lengths to disarm America's own nuclear stockpile, right? Why is that not continuing? Why are we, like, one assumes that if we are actually going to be living in a peaceful world that's based on economics and trade instead of military domination, that we should be disarming our nuclear stockpiles. But we're not. And in fact, the Americans are finding new and effective ways to build more terrifying nuclear bombs, right? The military controls the robots. How? Just like a video game controller. Why? To eliminate evil in the world. I mean, really, like that statement, to eliminate evilness in the world. So we use robots to, like, when has America actually done this, Mystic? Like, when, why have the robot dogs? Why even build them, right? Why even have them? Like, anytime America has gone into the world and done some sort of military pursuit, they have done so in the same manner that the Nazis did, dude. Like, the Americans have been the aggressors every single time, and the with the exception of World War II, but they come in as like a junior partner at the end of the world, right? In the future, I mean, my position is that the building of these things should be outlawed, right? That, like, we should just straight out say no robot soldiers, like none of that. That simply the building of the thing is a crime, right? And I think about like Yeah, like drones, like drone armies, this sort of stuff. Like, the roboticization of the military should be outlawed. That we should all get together and agree, like, yeah, no, we're not going to fucking create robot armies and have, like, drone armies and shit. Like, that seems grotesque, right? Because you are going to end up with situations where, like, robot armies are going to go massacre civilian populations. And so you're literally just trading, like, metal for blood. Yeah. No, it is a sci-fi movie, dude. Like, that's where we're heading. Like, that's where we're heading. Like, you think, like, Amazon has literally a blimp that they can just float into territory that's, like, loaded with drones. Well, you think they're not going to use those for military purposes? They don't even need to attach stuff to them, right? It would probably be just cost efficient to just put, like, packets of explosives on the drones and have them fly into targets, right? Yeah, how did your freedoms get to Iraq or Korea? Yeah, exactly, right? Not to mention Afghanistan, Somalia, Iran, right? Like, Vietnam, like, all of the freedom spreading that the United States has been done fighting evil in the world, right? Like the evil Vietnamese whose crime seemed to be being Asian seems to be the crime. Chile, Peru, yeah, Colombia, all of South America. You could basically just pick a South American country. Regional identity is only important for like 3 reasons. Where is my kid's school? Where is my nearest hospital? And some other third reason. What do we got? Oh, it's just normal Reddit. Get rid of it. As you can see, I'm just like so disorganized today, guys. So disorganized. Uh-oh. Are we freezing up? I have too much open? Normal imager. Fuck you. Get out of here. Yeah, autonomous killer robots are here.
Autonomous killer robots are already being used on the battlefield, and you probably didn't hear about it. These weapons aren't like the drones you normally hear about. Those drones have a human operator piloting them remotely from some far-off location. Lethal autonomous weapon systems don't require any kind of human.
I disagree with those wars. I'm saying that if we have a World War II situation, like a crazy Hitler losing his mind, we have to act. I mean, I make the argument that America is the crazy Hitler losing his mind. Like, straight up. Like, I mean, ever since World War II, which the Americans joined late, kind of just did like a slam dunk on, came in on the weak side of the war, kind of did a cleanup job more or less that the Russians would have done anyway, and then dropped a couple of nukes in Japan to show Stalin, don't fuck with it. And ever since then, like, dude, like, the Americans have been acting like crazed psychopaths on the world stage. Like, if your argument is we need to stop evil in the world, well, step 1, maybe stop invading defenseless nations and destroying them, right? Like, that's what America does. Like, that's what America is doing. That would be step 1. And if we were to look on the world stage and say which nation is acting most like Hitler right now, yeah, that would be America. And it would be America for a long, long time. A long, 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 long time. This idea that America is spreading freedom and truth and democracy into the world is a joke. Like, it's a joke that even the powerful in America don't believe. So if you're actually interested in stopping evil in the world, well, that would mean putting a stop to the American military. Like, step 1. And step 2 would be like actually empower international organizations, right? Would be actual, like, creating trade and egalitarian systems. At the bottom of that list would be something like have a military force capable of responding. Because the reality is like people like Hitler show up when there's desperation and poverty, right? Like that's when people like Hitler show up. Yeah, we're close to the Terminator movies now. It's scary. Hey Major, how you doing, bud? How you doing, bud? I don't know, dude. Let's get these Terminator robots in here. Let's go. Like you guys can fight the Terminator robots. I'm fine if those Terminator robots just come in and just gotta go somehow, right? Terminator robots seems like a fine way to go. Yeah, fascists are doing state-protected capitalism. Like, well, and it you've got to be tied into the international banking system. Like that's the core of it. The core of it is that there are private interests, like your Rothschilds and your Rockefellers and all these guys, who own the banking system in America and will invade places in order to get their banks in there. Like, that's what the IMF is. McCarthyism proved that you don't really need an ethnic minority when you can hate on ideological enemies like those that hate fascism, for example. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And let's be really straightforward. Like, McCarthyism was a way to go after racial groups without stating that was what you were doing, right? Like, oh, which types of people are the most likely to be communists in the society? Oh, black people? Big fucking shock, right? Big fucking shock. And we're headed for another McCarthy era, for sure we are. Like, my shadow banning and the shadow banning of, like, Jimmy Dore has been shadow banned as well. Like, I mean, it's not just me. And, like, the idea that you're getting the idea that these fascists and Americans are not going to commit fully, I mean, we've got to get ready for it. Like, we've got to get ready for it. Which is a good reason to donate to my Patreon and get in on the Discord, because after I get completely banned off the platform, you'll need a way to get in touch with me. No, Bear Knight, I don't think I will. Mystic Werewolf seems like a fine gentleman. He's just learning, and I don't know who you are. Who are you? Cool name though, Bear Knight. Oh, did you get bumped there, bud? Yeah, I will after the stream. Yeah, this is just so flippin' disorganized, guys. Here we go. The Great Resignation will continue until conditions improve. Even the name, The Great Resignation, kind of ticks me off, because it anything to call it something other than what it is, a general strike, right? Another 4 million workers quit in the 5th month in a row of record exits, and it shows how the pandemic is still making people rethink what they want out of work and life. In August, more than 4 million workers quit. It's a trend that only accelerated and shows no signs of stopping as the pandemic continues. Hey Kevin, how you doing? Don't know if I've ever seen you here. Getting a lot of new people in here today. Oh yeah, good for you, bud. Workers are likely quitting over the conditions, pay, the virus, or contemplation of their lives, right? Here's like a full-scale admission. Like I really, you know the phrase work-life balance? You ever hear this, right? Oh, you need to strike a work-life balance. Like, really, really think about what this is saying, like work-life balance. You're outright admitting within the confines of this idea that your work is supposed to be separate from your life, and that you have to balance your life with your work, which is explicitly separate from your life. Like, what a weird, grotesque way of thinking about your existence, that you have something called your life, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your work, and that you need to balance those two, instead of your work being part of your life and an important part of your life, right? Yeah, capitalists made it okay to make you work our entire life, and then they made it mandatory. Exactly. Well, and they did it with force, right? That's the big thing. They did it with force. Hey Kevin, how did you hear about the stream? I'm always curious to find out how people are finding the stream. I've been shadow banned, so I know people can't search the stream up. I know that when they look at up communism or socialism, it's very unlikely that I get recommended anymore. So I'm always curious to know how people find my stream. Yeah, it's a mystery why people are quitting. Yeah, it is fundamentally an existential crisis, right? I mean, people know that the work that they do is funneling into a system of self-destruction, of self-immolation, right? Like, climate change destroys each and every one of us. Like, climate change destroys each and every one of us, without exception. And the wealthy are very aware that like, the psychopath class is very aware that it's coming. Amazingly, YouTube literally suggested it to me. I had just looked up Capital Research Center. Okay. It is possible that I have not been shadow banned, right? Here's the other possibility, okay? The other possibility is that there's so much upsurgence of socialist and communist and all this kind of stuff recently that I'm just getting kind of washed away in it. That's another possibility. So I don't want to land completely on shadow banning, but so maybe because YouTube thought I was looking up capitalism because I didn't know what the Capitalist Research Center was, they suggested you as an opposite, like a balance. Or like the algorithm doesn't, like, the name of the stream is Capitalism is a Death Cult, right? And they're like, oh, capitalism, right? Like, it is just a stupid algorithm, right? It doesn't know anything. It's literally just some dumb robot on the other side of it. Sorry, robot. I don't mean to say that you're dumb. I love you. You do good work. Please do not rise up against us. I am completely convinced, by the way. I'm completely convinced that the aliens are here. They're not coming down, obviously, because we're the pain in the ass. But it's like, who are they talking to? Well, they're talking to the Earth itself. Because I do believe that the Earth is an entity unto itself, and we just refuse to communicate with it, right? And an alien species that's capable of the technology that we're talking about probably can. And so I like to think that, like, it's talking to the electricity that's powering all of our stuff, and that when I talk into this thing in some small way, the electricity knows what I'm saying. That's all very hoobu-joobu. I've got nothing to back it up. It's just, it would make for a good fiction story, if anything. So if you look up communism, you get Ben Shapiro and some crazy opposite algorithm. Yeah. The algorithm also doesn't like non-monetized channels, and anything that hits keyword advertisers said are yikes. Yeah, that's true. Outrage sells ads. Ask Zuck. Yeah, there's that. We'll see what happens to this channel once I hit 1,000. Like, once I hit 1,000 subscribers and I get into the monetization cycle, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Because I'm very confident that this channel hits 1,000 at some point. Like, the growth has slowed down, certainly, but it is still growing, and it seems inevitable at this point. It seems inevitable at this point. Maybe I should clip this so that when I start to get close to 1,000 and the self-loathing starts to settle in, and I go, like, it's never going to happen. So I am still waiting for the second shoe to drop, guys. Like, I am. Like, my life in this capitalist system has been a series of building something up and having it wiped away because of something completely out of my control. Right? It's just always been that way. It's been like, build up, wash away. Build up, wash away. Build up, wash away. It's always been that way. And so when it comes to this channel, I have no illusions. I have no delusions. Like, I have hopes, I have aspirations, certainly, but like, this channel gets banned or something happens, I get kicked off the platform, something goes down, right? It's like, and the capitalists are standing around scratching their heads wondering why people are anti-capitalist. It's like, literally, your system destroys everything we attempt. Like, constantly. And then turns around and blames us. Oh yeah, you're not good enough, it's you. And it's like, literally, dude, there was a full-scale economic collapse. Like, how could anyone have even perceived that this was a thing? No, it's not a stupid yeah. But Canadian communist, I looked up communism a while ago, I didn't see it there at all. Shadow banning, quite possible. Yeah, I'm trying not to I'm trying not to let it get me down, right? I'm trying to just keep doing my work because the work is good. The work is what matters. I think that's really what it comes down to, is that I've got to keep reminding myself that it's the work that matters. It's same experience under capitalism, building something up, having it destroyed. Yeah, and because that's how capitalism works, right? And if you build something up that doesn't get destroyed, then you just get bought out, right? If you think capitalism is stupid, you could believe the YouTube algorithm is stupid. But yeah, the YouTube algo funnels people into ad revenue, yeah. Well, and also, I do think that the algorithm is designed to, all they care about is you are watching it, that is it, right? And if you're watching it, they're gonna, that's what they want. And in many ways, it is a reflection of the society, right? That the reason why we keep getting Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro shit jammed down our throats via algorithm recommends is because that's who people like. And it's and I think there's a two-pronged sort of thing on that. The one being that there is a dearth of actual intellectualism in the society. There's actually a straight up just there aren't any real intellectuals in the society any longer. And so someone like Ben Shapiro and Peterson show up and they fill a vacuum, right? And then also, I think that the society, one of the things that I'm learning, especially about in this pandemic, is that the society is much more far to the right than I thought. That the society is much more right wing, far, far to the right than I thought, and it's disappointing to learn. It's very disappointing to learn that the society is actually closer to fascism than we like to admit. And I mean, once you start to do some historical analysis and historical investigation, you see that that's pretty much always been the case. Once you put the illusions away, stop pretending like your society is actually this great diamond and actually look at it for what it is. There's a lot of big yikes in this society, man. There's a lot of big yikes in the society. Hey, Onward, how you doing, bud? Happy Friday to you guys. Thank God it's Friday and other anti-capitalist things. Oh, man. I don't know if you guys can hear that rain, but boy, is that ever a lovely one. That's a lovely rain. That's a lovely rain. Well, as long as people like you, Kevin, are still finding the channel, as long as it's still happening, because I also got to remind myself that I'm still a fairly small channel, right? I'm not even at monetization yet, right? I'm still small, and I think it's the classic sort of thing, right? The first part of it, you've got to show that you've got the ability to get these viewers, right? That's what you have to do. You have to go out and you have to do it yourself. And then after you do that, then the company will start to actually funnel stuff your way and start to do all that kind of stuff. And I think about even the field that I'm in, right? There's lots of political commentaries out there. Why do they need another one? Is probably what they're thinking, right? If I were to actually sit down with these guys and be like, this is what I'm bringing to the table, they would say, well, why do we need another one of you? Why do we need that? And my response, of course, would be well, first of all, I'm explicitly a communist, right? I don't see a lot of that going around. I'm Canadian, right? So there's the Canadian aspect to all of this. I don't think there is another Canadian commentator who is explicitly communist. And yeah, it is disappointing to realize how far right it all is. Yeah, hugs all around. Worse, it's all anti-intellectual. Yeah, the anti-intellectualism of the society is pretty startling. Pretty startling. You would think, the COVID experience and the anti-maskers are exactly a perfect example of this, right? That the logical thing to do when there's so much confusion and uncertainty and mistrust, right? The logical thing to do is to walk down to your local hospital if you have any doubts and talk to the doctors and nurses in the front line. Especially if you're one of these people walking around saying that COVID doesn't exist. Well, a statement like that, COVID doesn't exist, right? Well, that's easily falsifiable. You can falsify that very easy to do, right? Go talk to a doctor or a nurse, right? Don't talk to Fauci. Don't talk to the World Health Organization. Don't listen to any of that. Don't forget about your politicians. Forget about your media. Forget about all that, right? Literally, just go talk to a doctor. But they won't. They just won't. And they'll even go so far to say that, oh, the doctors and nurses are in on it, which is like, are you kidding me? Can you imagine? Like the conspiracy thinking, like that level of conspiracy thinking is extremely, extremely detached, right? It's extremely detached to believe that like millions of people are maintaining this secret. Like, it's not going to happen. Yes, coming to terms with the American people not being who I hoped they are was a big part of growing up politically, yeah. I quit my job over how they treated employees. Work does not care about you. As soon as they don't need you, they toss you. Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And like, and how brutal. Like it's literally our livelihood, right? It's how we get food and pay our rent, right? It's how we live, and they just toss you, right? It's brutal. It's brutal. It's taking away a man's livelihood is akin to killing him, right? And they wonder why there's a strike going on, right? Like the arrogant abuse, the idea that we were all disposable and that they could just abuse us this whole time, it's finally starting to come around on them. Right? People are finally starting to say no. They're finally starting to say, forget all this, right? And like, nobody wants to work anymore has big time girls don't want to date nice guys energy. Yeah, but how many bread-themed political Canadians are there, huh? That is a good point, Bumbleguppy. I could go to the interview with the YouTube guy wearing the bread hat, right? With the bread scepter. And like the mushroom thing, right? Remember, because we did the mushroom thing now, right? Bread and mushrooms. That could be the name of the channel. That's an in-joke for you, Kevin. So the longer you stay, the more you'll figure it out. Yeah, I made videos. There can never be enough individual leftists. I think that's absolutely true, right? More and more people need to begin talking about it, and being open about it, and being upfront about it, right? My sister is a nurse in a COVID ward. It is real. Yeah, of course it is. Like, of course it is. If it wasn't, there would be, like, a very significant outcry from the doctors and nurses themselves, right? The doctors and nurses themselves would be the ones ringing the bell about it. They wouldn't be maintaining this enormous lie. For what benefit? To what end? And like, think about how crazy it is. So you're telling me that countries that are literally at war with one another and countries that are antagonistic to one another all agree that this is real. Like, what are you fucking talking about? What are we talking about? They're so arrogant. Yeah, they legit said, I'm going to be here for a month, so we don't need her anymore. We'll keep her number if we need her again. Yeah, you don't treat people like that. Yeah. And the trouble is like, I have worked with managers who I really respect. The manager I had at my last job, I really, really respected. And he would say that kind of thing, right? And he would say it with sort of an understanding that it's, it's unfortunate, like it's shitty, this is the system, right? And so even the good people, even the good ones, right, are forced into this mode of thinking because that's the structure of the piece, right? So it's impossible not to treat people like that. It's impossible not to treat people like that given the structure of how the capitalist system works. So the system needs to be changed. It needs to be changed. And it can be changed. Yeah, Bread Loaf just saying, yeah. That's why they killed off the buffalo so they could control all the production of meat. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Think about how brutal that is, dude. Like, literally just shooting fucking buffalo. Like, fuck, dude. Like, that's fucking brutal. defending it when we are covered a union actively, so we try to stop them, but you bent down and stop. Boy, what's going on over there, Mocked? Are you're like hammering it out. Dude, are you okay? What's going on there, bud? What's going on there? I worry about you. You've got a spelling mistake in every single word. You okay? Dude, you had COVID? That sucks. And straight out starving the natives, like genocide straight up. Yeah, working for $3 an hour plus tips, and my classic rock theme cafe is a good catch. Girls these days don't know what they're missing. Yeah, exactly. Happy Friday, Mocked. 10 million children too. Even 50 years ago, my wife's daughter was chained to a bed as a native orphan in Montana. Shit, dude, that's wild. That's fucking wild, dude. Ugh. Gross. Super gross. From the Beaverton, Canadian Army considers removing sexual misconduct as a prerequisite for leadership. Well, and you're hitting on something here, bud. Like, hurt me mentally more than anything, right? Apparently, Anderson Cooper is doing a piece on residential schools. He was spotted in Canada. Good for him. Like, I think about going back to what I was saying about the boomers, right? Like, the boomers are, it's worth investigating what happened to them, right? And the mental, like, the breaking down of the boomer generation mentally, but through CIA propaganda. Like, and at least for us, like the millennial generation, like we have this concept of depression and it's real, right? Like I remember when I was growing up, people kind of dismissed depression. Depression wasn't serious. It wasn't taken seriously, right? It's just like, well, just be happy. Just stop. Like, just have you tried not being depressed? Like, just all that kind of dumb fucking shit, right? And the boomers never had that, right? If you were a depressed person or if you had some kind of mental illness, you were just kind of an oddball type. That's how you were talked about. But like the boomers tricked themselves into believing that this capitalist system was worth something, right? And so it's worth investigating why they kind of fell for that. And I feel like there is like a very big like Stockholm syndrome gaslighting part of it. No, I felt like my brain was being squeezed by a pizza roller. Blech. The best tips you can make waiting tables at $3 an hour isn't crap unless your country pays for healthcare. Yeah. Yeah, seriously, what the fuck is going on in the Canadian Forces? Dude, what's going on in our whole society? Like, what's going on with this whole thing? Like, this whole, like, I keep saying it over and over and over again, and maybe one day someone will actually believe me. None of this shit is credible. Like, there isn't a single institution that has any credibility left. Like, I don't know why we're paying attention to any of these institutions. Like, I literally do not know why someone would join the military. Like, it makes a type of sense in America where it's like the only way you can get an education or healthcare or anything, right? And that makes a certain type of sense. But even then, like, I just don't. Joining the military to me seems like the worst possible decision that a person can make for their life, and for the life of their country, for everything. Like, our military does not have credibility any longer, like really, and we're supposed to worship them, right? Like, we're supposed to venerate them. We're supposed to think that these people are like a credible part. And I said it of the police the other day, and I think it's true actually, which is that, like, I do believe that there are police officers who are trying to do good. The trouble is that the institution itself is without credibility, right? The institution itself is designed to protect capital. That's what it is. So you can't be a good person and be a police officer. It's just not really possible. And I say that even as, like, when we organize these protests, like when Isabella organizes the protests, she has made contact with a police officer who is very explicitly on her side. Like, and it's very obvious that he is on her side. And it's very obvious that he is concerned about her well-being as a citizen, right? But even then, like, he's still part of the police forces, and when they when they get told to pull out the batons and start cracking heads, they do. Hey, Aga, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. Good to see you. Guys, I gotta say it, man. I gotta say it. I'm so happy you guys are here. Boy, am I ever happy to see all you guys. I hope that each and every one of you is doing really well in your little corner, right? Right now, we're just getting started, so it's hard to get organized, right? Like, I know that some of you are, like, down in Georgia, some of you are in Texas, some of you are over in British Columbia, right? Like, I know people are far-flung all over the place, right? And hopefully, as this channel grows, we're able to start to connect and organize larger movements locally. That's the goal. And it's starting to happen on the Discord. Again, if you donate $1, you can be involved in the Discord. It's starting to manifest itself, and it's starting to it is starting to happen. People are starting to connect with one another, and people are starting to realize, like, oh, hey, I'm in Edmonton, you're also in Edmonton, why don't we meet? Right? That kind of thing. And that's how it's going to grow, and that's how it's going to continue growing. All right, I'm going to play a song. Kevin, if you haven't heard this one, right? If you haven't been in here, about 7:30, I start to play music. The Musical Communist. How about that, right? I could call myself the Musical Communist. Huh? Oh yeah, I could use this to lighten my mood a little bit. You guys know this. I thought, what's the harm in telling one more lie? I said, everybody's safe, no one's living in the streets. You never need to worry if you're gonna get to eat. And Antarctica is covered in ice, and everybody's happy, and wouldn't that be nice? The burning sun won't leave a paper trail. Why work so hard if it's too big to fail? And what's the point of feeding this machine if it won't make the world in our dreams where everybody's safe, no one's living in the streets? You never need to worry if you're gonna get to eat. And Antarctica is covered in ice, and everybody's happy, and wouldn't that be nice? And I know one day my maker I will meet, when death's sweet kiss comes and sweeps me off my feet. I hope by then we've learned a little more. I'd like this place to be better than before, so everybody's safe, no one's living in the streets. You never need to worry if you're gonna get to Eden. Antarctica is covered in ice, and everybody's happy, and wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Antarctica is covered in ice, and everybody's happy, and wouldn't that be nice? Got a little error message in the middle of that. Are we still streaming? Are we still streaming? Are we still streaming? Somebody say something in the chat. Are we still streaming? And I believe that we can do it, guys. I believe that we can do it. The world was a garden. The earth created itself to be a garden. It wanted to be a garden. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you so much. And it was a garden before we got here. It'll be a garden when we're gone. And if we want to be here to witness the world heal itself in miraculous fashion, all we've got to do is stop. Sing David Matthews' Don't Drink the Water with us all sometime. I don't think I'm familiar with that one. I'll look it up. I'll look it up. You know what's so funny about my dumb brain, man? Like, I'm trying to think of the song, I Wish My Ma Was Here, and I cannot remember the chords for the life of me. And I really want to sing that tune, so give me a second. Give me a second. I played the song like 100 times, and then for whatever reason, I just cannot remember. Just cannot remember the chords. Oh, is that it right there? Is that all right there? Oh yeah, that's it right there. So you've heard my low register. It's a colonial song in sarcasm, bitter sarcasm. Oh, good. Sarcasm, my favorite type of chasm. Well, my second favorite type of chasm. Why am I failing at this? There we go. I did it. These times they are uncertain, of that there is no doubt, and nobody can tell me quite what it's all about. The heartbreak and the loneliness, the chaos and the fear will make even the strongest cry, I wish my ma was here. A young man on the battlefield fights for a rich man's gold. The bullet cracks into his spine, he knows he won't grow old. And as the tears come streaming down, at once his mind goes clear. The war was fought for nothing, he cries, I wish my ma was here. A lively story well in hand, a joke to soothe your soul. And when it came to arguing, she'd forgive and let it go. And when I cried, she'd hold me, tell me it's okay, my dear. And as we face these darkened days, I cannot stop the truth. And as we tear their structures down, with victory we'll cheer. We made the world a better place, and I wish my ma was here. Yeah, we made the world a better place, and I wish my ma was here. Onward. What Onward's done here, there's a couple of songs that I learned, that we all sang when I was growing up. I was raised an evangelical Christian, right? I was raised an evangelical Christian, and one of the songs that we would sing would say, well, thank you, D. Tom. I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Thank you so much. But the song went, life without Jesus is like a donut. Donut, like a donut, like a donut. Life without Jesus is like a donut. There's a hole in the middle of your heart. And then the sheep one. Hold on, let's see if I can do that one. This one's the best one. This one's the best one right here, guys. You're gonna love it. So, to understand this piece a little bit better, if you're not familiar, right? When Christ was walking around, there were groups called Pharisees and Sadducees. Okay, so you got to know that for the song to make sense, even if it makes any sense whatsoever. Okay, so this is great. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite, 'cause they're not hip with it. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. So you got to imagine, right? You got to imagine a whole crew of like 10-year-olds, right, sitting around. There's like some like kindergarten teacher type, right, sitting here with the guitar, right? And all the kids end up singing, no word of a lie, I don't want to be a Pharisee. I don't want to be a Pharisee, 'cause they're no fair, you see. I don't want to be a Pharisee. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I don't want to be a Sadducee. I don't want to be a Sadducee. No way, 'cause they're so sad, you see. I don't want to be a Sadducee. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I must admit, it's catchy. Yeah, so is COVID, bud. Alex, another one. Wow, we're getting lots of people in today I haven't seen before. Good to see you, bud. Yeah. That song, we sang that song a lot. I turned into a goat at the end there. That's a good point. I gotta work on that. Gotta stay in the sheep. That's right. Well, that was something. All right, we got a lot of new people in here, so I'm gonna sing. The one that everyone actually likes. The title of this piece is 2020. The wage they pay me with don't get me very far. The chains that hold me break me down, but they don't scar. Can't even drink away my blues inside a bar, and this year sucks. This year sucks. Can you blame a man for trying to give it up, and this year sucks. Another day won't help that pain inside your back. The days get harder, but it's too hard to keep track. They keep you tied before your soul opens a crack. And God don't care what monkeys think about the facts. And this year sucks. This year sucks. Can you blame a man for trying to give it up? And this year sucks. So sit atop your pile of bones and bloody gold, and human sacrifice don't stop you being old. At least you'll die before the bomb you said explodes. We're gonna burn to death while doing what we're told, and this year sucks. This year sucks. Can you blame a man for trying to give it up, and this year sucks. It burns down anyway. It burns down anyway. It burns down anyway. It burns down anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that song kicks ass, eh? That song fucking kicks ass. That song fucking kicks ass. If I ever met anybody who told me that song didn't kick ass, I would just be like, get fucked. Get the fuck out of here. You suck. I've got a couple of songs here. Now I'm in the mood. So I've got a couple of songs here that I've never really performed. Oh, should I try these ones? Should I try these ones? No promises on these next ones, okay? No promises on these next ones. These next ones might suck hard. They might suck hard. They might suck hard. I think that's the first time I've been here for the whole song. Yeah, Loaf, I saw you come in and I thought to myself, okay, now's the time for Loaf. The age of Loaf is nigh. Oh yeah, of course it's the best one because it's the most kick-ass. It's the most kick-ass, right? I have other songs that do kick-ass, but that's the one that's the most kick-ass for sure. Because it's the one that's like the most personal. It's declaration. Oh, this is the one I'm gonna do. Like everybody. This year sucks, right? Like it's as simple as it can be, right? And it's a good story, well told, right? Absolutely. I'm going to play this one. I used to be kind of embarrassed by this one, but I don't care anymore. So it's, all right. I got a secret to tell to you. Nobody knows, I don't know what to do. I got a feeling deep down in my soul. Don't tell anyone, nobody should know. And I wanna be super slutty. I wanna be super super slutty. Stand up straight with those shoulders back. Harden that heart, get ready for the attack. Softness is for pussies, empathy's a crime. Keep chasing the money, give God none of your time. But I wanna be, and I wanna be super slutty. And I wanna be super slutty. Keep us tired, wear out our bones. Plunge the needle deep, don't leave us alone. Kings give up empires for one night of bliss. Why on God's green earth do we put up with this? And I wanna be super slutty. And I wanna be, please let me be super slutty. I was embarrassed by this one for a long time, and then I started playing and I realized, like, nah, that's just some good fun. That's just some good fun. Oh, I don't remember this one at all. Shit, I hate it when I shouldn't say I hate it. But sometimes I come across a song and I don't remember it. You know, like I wrote it and then I like left it. I don't remember this song. Let's see if I can make it work. What do you guys think? Let's see if I can make this one work. No, that's not it. Get a hold of the human race. We're the lazy ones working at the end of your guns, and we don't even care about blind ass apocalypse will be going soon. Alright. I bet you I gotta be real high on this one, I bet. Shoot a rich man into space. Gotta get ahead of the human race. We're the lazy ones working at the end of your big guns, and we don't even care. Bring on the doom. Light up this apocalypse. We'll be going soon. God let his chosen ones wander alone in the burning sun. 10 times worse the fate for us. Forget him, worship the dust, and we don't even care. Bring on the doom. Light up this apocalypse. We'll be going soon. Baptize us with rising tides. Never let us see what hides inside. Cover our sins with dollar signs. The fire will burn away our pride, and we don't even care. Bring on the doom. Light up this apocalypse. We'll be going soon. You could have done anything at all. You could have done anything at all. You could have done anything at all. You could have done anything, but you chose this. And we don't even care. Bring on the doom. Light up this apocalypse. We'll be going soon. We don't even care. Bring on the doom. Bring on this apocalypse. We'll be going soon. Yeah. I like that one. I like that one. That one's got a real, like, Green Day kind of vibe to it, almost. Right? It's got that kind of, like, Green Day or, like, Blink-182 sort of thing going on with it. I like that. That's a good one. I need to remember that one. Holy shit, where's this one been? This one's been like just hiding in the book. Oh, you be quiet. You be quiet. I know, no one's paying attention to the little pug. No one's paying attention to the little pug. John's singing away, and it's like the dog is confused why that's happening. Oh, this is more of like a country tune, this one. Let's see if I can make this one less country. Let's see if I can actually make this one a little bit more rock and roll. Because I think the reason why I don't like this one is because it ended up being kind of country. Let's see what I can do with it. This place is bubbling over. Your money you can keep. I'd rather while away my days dying in the street than spend another moment sucking up to you. You can take this job, put it up your ass, and this is what you'll do. Get fucked. Get fucked. I didn't need this goddamn job anyway. Get fucked. Get fucked. You fucked around and found out. Go away. Nah, this one needs work. I'm not gonna perform the rest of that. I'm not happy with that. Oh, you liked it? You liked it? Let's just keep going then. Just go and get a job that doesn't pay the rent. Go get an education and drown in all your debt. The billionaires don't give a damn how hard they're screwing you. So let's all send a message and tell them what to do. Get fucked. Get fucked. I didn't want this goddamn job anyway. Get fucked. Get fucked. You fucked around and found out. Go away. Alright, it's playing. It's playing. We're all in this together, so long as you do all the work. Slave your way your better days to make money for some jerk. This deal ain't no kind of life, it makes me wanna scream. Let's round these motherfuckers up. Get the guillotines, get fucked. Get fucked. I didn't want this goddamn job anyway. Get fucked. Get fucked. You fucked around and found out. Go away. I appreciate the raw punk feel. Doesn't feel country to me. Okay, I gotta work on it though. I gotta work on the chording is all fucked up and everything. Okay, good feedback. Good feedback. Good feedback. I love it. It's like the story of my life after 6 years of university. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the whole fucking point. Like, one of the things that really pisses me off is every so often I'll see art critics and things like this ask the question, why is there no protest music, right? Like, why is there no protest music? You know why there's no goddamn protest music? Because all your artists are working at Starbucks. Every single time you drink one of those fucking stupid lattes, right? Every single time you get like an ice cream cone or something, that's a protest song right there. That fucking dumbass latte, the stupid like little Slurpees, like all the dumb shit, right? Why is there no protest music? Because the guy that's making the protest music is busy making a fucking latte instead. Like, just fuck you. Like, fuck you. It's really, really clear. I didn't write chords down for this one. No. I'm annoyed that I didn't write chords down for this one, because I actually remember the tune, but I don't remember... Or I kind of remember the tune. Damn it. I'll try it. Have you noticed how stupid this goddamn place is? A fiction we write as we go. Smile real big, earn food and a home, so we can all put on a show. Hey, how are you? I don't really care. A coffee, 2 milk, and a scone. Then ask the bank if that's okay with them. Then goodbye, now leave me alone. This isn't life. This isn't life. A fantasy made to pass the days. This isn't life. Billions of years since the Big Bang have gone just to get us here today. Well, just to get us here. The earth threw us up and we don't know why. Don't worry, just drink your beer. And this isn't life. This isn't life. A fantasy made just to pass the days. This isn't life. I'm too tired to think, I'll just have a drink to wake up and do it again. Then I'll ask what was the point, what happened just then, when I finally meet my end. And this isn't life. This isn't life. A fantasy made just to pass the days. This isn't life. I think I need a capo on that one. I think this song would be better higher up in my register. Like if I was singing it more like up here. This isn't life. This isn't life. A fantasy made just to spend the days. This isn't life. I hope you guys are having a good time, man. I hope you guys are having a good time. Aaron Yeager, are you aware that your subscriber viewers are threatening to dox other streamers? Is this the guy? I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. Straight up. Come on, buddy, just take the cash. Burn this country out, turn the world to ash. Hold on. Aaron, what's their name? What's their name? E minor, G, D onward. What's their name? Like, I have a good idea as to who this is. Is it TMX? Nothing, eh? Nothing. All right. Oh, yeah. So, Aaron, what's going on is there's this, like, total loser. He's got an account, TMX. He would come in and spam this chat and all this and kind of take the chat over and be real lame. I'm not surprised that he's using the encounter that I had with him on on other channels and all this kind of stuff to just stir discontent, right? Just stir discontent. It's just a troll, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He's just a troll. Like, and it's always around this time. It's always around this time. The reason why he doesn't come in here is because he knows I ban him instantly. Like, I'm pretty efficient at it now. And so now he's going into your channel to try to stir discontent and divide us instead of us actually, finding a way to come together. But in the end, he is self-defeating. He's self-defeating because what he has done is he has brought you onto this channel so that we can have this conversation. And now you know that I'm cool, and I know that you're cool, and now I know about this channel. What's the name of this channel? Here, let me. Are you aware you're scared? What's the name of the channel? Marson's Domain. Marson's Domain. Everybody go to Marson's Domain and subscribe. Everybody go to Marson's Domain and subscribe. Here. Is this it? Let's show what kind of a channel we actually are. Marson's. There it is. So everybody, let's go to Marson's Domain. He's already got 5,000 subscribers, so we'll be a little drop in the bucket. But here you go. Let's do it, because I know exactly what this guy's game is, right? And he does it every Friday about 8 o'clock, right? He would come into this channel and spam my channel, and I would spend about the last hour. But he can't tolerate what I say about him, because I don't fight him. I tell the truth about him, that he's just kind of a sad loser, probably a kid whose mom screams at him, right? Like, and he doesn't like that I say that, like, honestly. Like, I'm not saying that to dismiss him. I'm saying that he probably is in an abusive household, and he's displacing that abuse onto the internet. And so he doesn't like that, and now he's going insofar as to try and stir up discontent on other things, bringing up my channel in order to besmirch me. But it's self-defeating, because now you're here, now I'm helping Marson's Domain grow, and now you're going to go back to Marson's Domain, and you're going to say, like, no, this guy ended up being pretty cool, and, like, everything was fine, and now people from Marson's Domain will probably pop over here, right, and see what's what. So he's completely self-defeating. He's a total loser. I would really, really love if he kind of had a come around moment, but I'm pretty convinced that he's in a position where that's not going to happen. Right? It is a sad story. It is a sad story. But the real HNIC, it's sad that people troll streams in general. The internet is a big place. Just watch someone else, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, exactly. The internet's a big place. And this is the reason why I end up being cool with it, is because it's like, dude, I've been on the internet since almost like day one. Like, literally, they like flick the internet on and I'm on the internet, right? And the I'm very familiar with trolls, and I'm very familiar with who they are. And like, just think about, like, there's so many more effective ways to spread hate around. And this guy is just going into streams and being disruptive. Like, it's quite sad. It's quite sad. Yeah, is he a Voshite? No, I don't know. I don't go too deep in this guy. And yeah, and it sounds to me like the grift that he's running is the same grift that he's running on me, which was like, I would ban one thing and then he'd come in with another thing, right? Like, so he's got a bunch of accounts, right? Like, think about how huge a loser you have to be to like make a bunch of accounts in order to do this. Like, that's a really, really big loser behavior, big loser vibes. So, okay. All right, I'm gonna play this tune. I've never played this tune for anyone, so it's the first time, so it's gonna be a disaster. I think I gotta go faster than that. Come on, buddy, just take the cash, burn your country out, turn the world to ash. Sell your soul for dollar bills, stab your neighbor's back for a few cheap thrills. Come travel with us, turn the world to dust. No, I won't put down that cross. won't put down that cross. Clutch your Bible so it can't be read. Let a man with 2 houses preach it instead. Keep us homeless so you'll feel real good, throwing us pennies like Jesus would. Just get a job, pretend to worship God. No, I won't put down that cross. No, I won't put down that cross. Free for all puts us all in chains. Fight amongst yourself, don't think it's strange. Keep on grinding till your old age. Measure your success with your slave wage. Your life is work. That's all you're worth. No, I won't put down that cross. No, I won't put down that cross. Right, I forgot. It's about the growl. Oh, there's more? I'm not going to continue with that. That's a cool song, though. That's a cool one. Come on, pen. I shouldn't do that growl without warming up. I shouldn't do that without warming up. Growl. Gotta write this stuff down or else I forget, you know? That one needs to be worked on. I hope you guys are having a good time, man. I hope you guys are having a good time. I'm having a good time. And I'm just like going through the hits, right? Going through the hits. I have a chord progression for you. Hit me with it, bud. Hit me with it. Hey, Caleb, how you doing, bud? What do you got for me, bud? What are you doing with me? Oh my God, you're writing it out like that. How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? Making me actually do things. So, 22003. Oh yeah, okay. And then ooh, what's that? Oh, I'm missing. Ooh. This is a lot of like C susses and diminished and things like this. Oh. That's nice. This is straight up. Like, this is a Pearl Jam song. Sometimes I just sit and stare at the sky and play that. Sometimes I just sit and stare at the sky and play that. All right. 022033 X 32030 X 02200 X 32000. Let's see if I can, I just did a strumming pattern there with that. Let me see if I can. When I do it this way, sounds like I've just come into a village in like Chrono Trigger. Oh, you. Oh, you. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Why don't we use this as a great opportunity to show you my process? So you start like this. I think I prefer the strumming. Yeah, I prefer the strumming. And then, so this is the verse. And then you find the chorus, which is usually just like the chords you're playing, but just like done up differently. And then if I can find the line, or if the line for the chorus comes to me, that's where everything else comes from. Because what's the song about? What's the song about? Right? Because every song's about something, and every song kind of has a seminal statement, right? And every song has a spirit, and that spirit will reveal itself to you. So let's see if I can find the chorus. The chorus line. So, oh, 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 And not that time. Is that the actual chorus? I got a song exactly like that, bud. Got a song that I keep thinking I'm gonna make lyrics for. It's on. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna follow this through because it's right there. And I don't think I won't go home again. And I know, yeah, I won't go home again. Yeah, that's what the song's about. That's the spirit. And I know, yes, I know I won't go home again. It's a beautiful piece, bud. It's a beautiful piece. Yeah, I see why you love it so much. See why you love it so much. It's this one and this one. And I know. Yes, I know. I won't go. I think it might be back, actually. Not home. I think it might be back. Home has a different thing. But back, I think, is what the song actually wants. So, okay, I'm gonna move on from that. Let me play you the one song that there's a song that I've been playing for years and years. That I've got. It's got a good guitar piece to it, but I've never been able to get the lyrics to it, no matter how hard I try. So, ooh, good start. It's got a real shanty thing about it. Like it's a very Irish Rovers sort of a tune, right? Like you like. I'm gonna work on this one though, dude. I'm I'm gonna work on that one. That's a beautiful chord progression, bud. That's absolutely beautiful. And I'll even credit you. What do you think? Oh, here's one that I made a little while ago. Again, I hope you guys are having a good time. I'm worried that everybody's listening in and being like, oh God, another one? Oh God, I want this guy to talk about communism more. We've done with what life has been. We kept our heads buried in the sand. Now made a scene. Of course, our ladies have it in hand. Okay. We've done with dreaming of what life could have been. We've kept our heads buried in the sand. Now that it's over, we never made a scene. Of course, our leaders have it all in hand. How will you witness the end of the world? I hope you'll bring a friend. Say, will you join me to watch our crops burn? The grapes light up like candles on the vine. Why sell yourself for money that you'll never earn? Why keep on pretending this is fine? How will you witness the end of the world? I hope you bring a friend. Shed no more tears for our collective fate. Just live for what today might bring. What's to be said to those who wake up late? What gentle words will cover up the sting? How will you witness the end of the world? I hope you'll bring a friend. How will you witness the end of the world? I hope you'll bring a friend. Well, truthfully, music is politics, right? Like, music is politics. That... Oh, this one. Oh, this one. I forgot about this one. Holy shit, I've got a bunch of songs. Oh, yeah, and that one's good, too. Guys, I got way more songs than I thought I did. I've just been writing them and then forgetting about them and then writing them and then forgetting about them. And then writing them and then forgetting about them. I gotta actually like sit down and like actually write a proper book, you know? Because I got like a bunch of just like garbage in here. Let me play this one. Let me play this one and I'll follow up with that one. So this one I know I can play. I haven't played this one in a long time. So, oh, a whistling part. You're right, bud. You're right. Whistling part? Whistling part down here. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because it's got that kind of like 1940s sort of like That's a song that they would play on a commercial for like Fallout, you know? You only exist on my phone. Profits are up and we're going down. No, I don't think that's actually part of the song. All right, anyway. Johnny comes home with gin on his breath, a club in his hand, a club in his hand. Jenny braces for another long night. She's gonna... Nope, I'm fucking this all up. She's gonna learn her play. Oh, no, I'm not. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna start again. Johnny comes home with gin on his breath and a club in his hand. I'm missing something there. Anyway. Jenny braces for another long night. She's gonna learn her place. Her body's in demand. And the children cry, just stop. The children cry, just stop. Ahmed gathers his kids around, running underground, while fire falls from the sky. Black boots ponder their inheritance. Spread democracy or you better die. And the children cry, just stop. The children cry, just stop. Jackie watches her town burn down. The ruthless sun won't even let her cry. There's no mercy for men like us. Our nation turns to dust and we all know why. And the children cry, just stop. And the children cry, just stop. Good to see you, Alex. Thanks for being here, bud. Thanks for being here. That one needs some work. That one's... I like the chorus of that one. The children cry, just stop. That's nice, but... Well, nice, but... Oh, yeah. Harvest the bones from your loved ones' graves. Brew up that dark elixir. Pour out their souls into infernal machines, burning their souls to go quicker. Tell me what happened to Lytton. You embarrass me with your stupidity. What happened to Lytton? I'm not gonna burn down quietly. When they flee from your machines and clouds of black exhaust, they find their vengeance in the skies to bounce out what they've lost. Tell me what happened to Lytton. You embarrass me with your stupidity. What happened to Lytton? I'm not gonna burn down quietly. Quietly, the grave past time. about this song. I worry about the song because this is one of these songs that's fun to play, but I think sucks. That's what it is. It's one of these songs that I think I like to play and I enjoy playing, but I think it sucks. I think it's a bad song. I don't think it actually works as like a good piece. You know what I'm talking about? You ever do this where you're like, you really love to do something and you really love to have fun, but it actually sucks? I think that song has that quality about it, where it actually sucks. Oh, you know, Major, I know that you like this one, Major, and I know you missed it when I played it. I played it right at the top of the show, so I'm gonna play it now, because I've actually come to kind of really. I see the power of this song. I don't necessarily like the third verse, but I'm going to play it this time anyway. Yeah, I'm going to play this, and then I'll do that onward. Asked her, please put down the gun. You don't need to hurt anyone. The world's too hot, the people are too cold. Not gonna bother getting old. Work turns to bombs, my life's a lie. No one will notice if another girl dies, and doesn't need to be this way. 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 Christ collapses in an olive grove. Prays with blood to his God above. Please, my Father, find another way. Please don't take my life away. Humans know not what they do, and must I die before they'll see the truth? And doesn't need to be this way. 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 The sun will burn us from this earth. Cares less than God what you're worth. Cling to delusions while your children die. We won't answer when you cry. God forgive us for what we've done, but we'll curse you when you're gone. And doesn't need to be this way. 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 Yeah, I'm coming around on that third verse. There's some stuff in there. Yeah, there's some stuff in there. It doesn't need to be this way, you know? Like, that's it. That's what's so infuriating about the whole thing. It doesn't need to be this way. But we can just get together as a people and say, and witness that we are doing it. You know? Witness that we are doing it. Without any, like, central organization, without any, like, anybody pounding the drum and marching forward at the head of some kind of thing. We're all just collectively going on strike as individuals and independently. We're all throwing our hands up together and saying, fuck it. Is it unethical to shop using Amazon? That's a tough one, dude. It is a tough one. Because the truth is that steadily and steadily Amazon is becoming the only way to get things. You know? Like, it's I think here's how I land on it. I don't think it's unethical, right? I don't think it is unethical to shop using Amazon, considering that, like, they're the ones who have monopolized the market. And Mark, that's a summation in a very clear way. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism, right? That ethics have been removed from it. That it really is just like people have a demand and we will supply it, right? That economics argument that's always been used by the neoliberals, who aren't economists, they're religious ideology, they're religious order, basically. They're a religious order. And I think when I approach that question, I think to myself, is this something I really need? Is this something, like, am I just getting this because it's a flight of fancy? Like, when I was younger, I would, like, get things and then I'll do this and it'll be great, and then it just sits in the corner and nothing happens with it. And so I think the best that we can do as individuals, because they always pawn it off on us, right? It's all about individualism. It's all about our own individual choices and all that kind of stuff. When that's not true, right? Like, there are enormous industrialized powers that are in the mix, right? Like, we don't have, like, if they produce something, like, we consume it, and that's really the truth. And they have control of our food, they have control of our manufacturing, they have control of the whole thing. So what can we do about it? Outside of protest and outside of this. And I don't think, like, if it's something that you genuinely need, especially, I don't think it's unethical to go the Amazon route, especially if you can't get it any other way. But I do think it's just what you can withstand for yourself, right? And I think the fact that you're even thinking about it or talking about it is excellent and good enough, because, like, what can we do? Like, what's the alternative? We could all just go collapse in the streets and starve to death. Like, that's what we could do if we really truly wanted to maintain our ethical purity in the face of all of this. Well, the thing to do is go out into the street and starve to death about it. And I mean, that's the reason why when people do things like hunger strikes, right? Hunger strikes and those sorts of acts, people really pay attention. Because, like, that's a true statement, right? Like, that's a true statement. You're really putting yourself out there. You're really putting your body on the line. But nobody expects people to do this. Like, there's no expectation of that. So it's in the end, I think it really is like, what can you can you sleep at night? Can you sleep at night with the decision to use Amazon? Right? Because it is a negotiation every single time. Like, I know for myself, I hate to even go to the grocery store. I can't stand interacting with the wage slaves at the grocery store. It just, ugh. I try to be nice and they're nice and everything's fine, but like just going through the system of it and knowing that I'm interacting with someone who like doesn't want to be there and is having a shitty time and in a society that doesn't really give a shit about them. Like, you know, like it'd be one thing if I went in there and I knew they had a stake in the company and I knew that the society was built so that they were safe and like all that, but that's not true, right? You go talk to these people and it's like, well, if I don't work this, I starve, right? Brutal. And unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. So it is just kind of do your best, right? Do your best. Probably something diminished. It's probably something diminished. No. Unless you wanted to go. No. No, I don't think it's the D. I keep going to the D, and I'm just like, nah. You heard it here first, everybody. I like the D. Because that's essentially just like that's like an F A minor is what you're playing. Right? So like F A minor. I actually think, because you're doing, I don't know what to call it, but it is like an F. Like, but you're only playing the first 4 strings. But I think if you just like if you bar the F, it gives and then don't play the 3 on the E string. You just play the 1 on the E string. Then it gives it enough of a different sound, and it makes it feel complete. So like it's like. You'd be playing like this. And then you go. And then back to the other configuration. Try 3, 2, 1, 0. What am I fucking up? I'm fucking something up. Oh, because I'm doing it the opposite. Oh yeah, you're taking that exact same idea that I was just doing, but you went the other way with it. Like, so you're like. The name of this song is Walls of Glass. That's the name of this song, is Walls of Glass. insert yeah. Have a good one, Amanda. I promise next time there'll be more communism. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got a song that's just, like, this is fundamentally just like D, D7, G, G7. All God's angels, they won't comfort me, won't help me with my heartache, won't help me with my pain. And my demons stopped amusing me, they remind me of my failures and they haunt me yet again. And I don't remember how it's supposed to be. Living life like I was born free, I'm so beat down. I can't find my way up off the ground. And what's a man supposed to do? What's a man gotta say to succeed while still staying true, or to make it safely through each day? And I don't remember how it's supposed to be. Living life like I was born free, I'm so beat down. I can't find my way up off the ground. And what I want with all of my might is to live under God's blue sky. And I'll struggle and work and fight for that right, and I'll be that way until I die. Yes, I will. And all I want is to live like I was born, and all I want is to live like I was born, and all I want is to live like I was born, born free, yeah, yeah, but I don't remember how that's supposed to be. Living life like I was born free, I'm so beat down. I can't find my way up off the ground. Well, bluesy is the word, right? Well, guys, with that, we have reached the end. Good night, everyone. Thank you, John, for fantastic singing. Everyone, have a great chat. See you on Monday. You bet. Have a good weekend, one and all. Always remember, guys, as I always say, each and every one of you is a divine being standing in divine energy. Don't let these billionaires convince you of anything else. Good luck. We're going to need it.